Houston on 2 for conference.
Go on 2.
Yep, we hit another LOS. This one's a little bit longer, but we were basically done, so I'm going to call it done, and if you just let them know, I won't be there when the LOS comes back, or we get AOS again.
We copy. We'll let them know.
If you're just joining us, I am Nasha Shaniqua Vereen, and we're broadcasting live from the International Space Station Flight Control Room, where we're monitoring Dragon's undocking today. It will be the first autonomous undocking of a cargo Dragon vehicle, and we are currently standing by as we just had a delay in the timeline as far as departure for Dragon today. The latest that SpaceX can send the command for Dragon to depart will be 9:25 a.m. We are currently retargeted for a 9 a.m. Central Time departure, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, but we will continue to monitor the weather and splashdown sites as we move forward. Today, the command to release Dragon will originate from flight controllers here on the ground and in Hawthorne. The command can be sent from either the astronauts aboard the station or the ground team, and while the command won't come from the on-orbit crew today, NASA astronaut Victor Glover will be standing by and monitoring the spacecraft's departure. Currently targeted for 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. There are a couple milestones we'll see Dragon meet this morning. First, those departure burns, but then it will cross the keep out sphere, an invisible line around the station with a 200-meter radius. It will keep heading away from the station and will stand by until it makes its way out of the approach ellipsoid, another invisible line that's 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 2 kilometers around the station. These invisible lines are where we have checkpoints for the vehicle on the way to and from the station. Once the command is sent, the hooks on the Dragon will be released and springs will push Dragon away from the station and we'll have separation of the vehicle. The spacecraft will start to slowly drift away. Dragon has a few small departure burns to get it into the proper position away from the station, as it will have an eventual deorbit burn. That will slow Dragon down enough to drop it out of orbit and send it towards its landing zone, splashing down in the Atlantic. SpaceX's upgraded Cargo Dragon spacecraft launched to the International Space Station atop a Falcon 9 rocket from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida, Sunday, December 6, 2020, and docked at the station December 7th. This was the first launch for SpaceX under NASA's second commercial resupply service contract, CRS-21, delivering over 6,500 pounds of supplies, equipment, and materials to support dozens or more than 250 science and research investigations that occurred and will occur aboard the orbiting laboratory during Expeditions 64 and 65. We currently have a view of the Cargo Dragon attached to the Harmony module facing the space-facing port.
Full station on 2 for Veggie.
And we're with you on 2, Hopper.
Good morning. Is there anyone on the Veggie team that's around? I got a quick question on it.
Yep, they are listening. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't realize they were in. But the quick question was regards to I know this is on our own, but does the plant thinning still apply to all of the plants in there as well? In other words, for the pak choi, wasabi, and kale?
We're checking. We'll have you an answer.
Okay, and you might let them know that in the J on 03 Juliet, that all of the plant pillows had 3 plants except for 6, which only had 2.
And we copy. Thank you.
You can also just let them know as well, 45 mils added to each of the pillows per the execution note.
We copy. Thanks, Hopper.
For those just tuning in, we are currently monitoring the undocking for the Cargo Dragon spacecraft. We currently have a 30-minute delay with a new undocking time for around 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. SpaceX and NASA are currently monitoring the weather in the splashdown zones before they decide officially we will be undocking today. The latest time to depart today for on-time splashdown will be 9:25 a.m.
Station 2 for the no exercise constraint.
Go ahead.
Hey, wondering if I'm okay to start ARED, and then if it needs to be with the viz pins locked out for during that no exercise constraint, which I understand is sliding 30 minutes to the right. And if you could, so just wondering if I'm going to start it, and then also if you could give me like a 5-minute heads up so that I can get it back into config before the no exercise constraint.
Checking. And we are
Station Huntsville on Space to Ground 2 for Hopper and Veggie.
For Hopper on 2.
Hey, Hopper, we just needed to confirm, but 03I is independent, so that's at your discretion. If you think it needs thinning, your go. Otherwise, just monitor as normal.
Okay, copy. At our discretion. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Hopper.
And Station Houston on 2 for ARED. We are go for ARED. We'll give a heads up when it needs to discontinue.
Copy, thanks.
SpaceX's upgraded Cargo Dragon spacecraft has launched to the International Space Station atop a Falcon 9 rocket from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. This was the first launch of SpaceX under NASA's second commercial resupply contract, CRS-21, which delivered supplies, equipment, and materials to directly support dozens of the more than 250 science and research investigations that will occur during Expedition 64 and 65. This included the delivery of the NanoRex Bishop airlock, the first commercially owned and operated airlock that will provide a variety of capabilities to the space station, such as payload hosting, robotics testing, and satellite deployment. It also will serve as an outside toolbox for crew members conducting spacewalks. Dragon's arrival at the station marked the first time two Dragon spacecraft have been docked on the orbiting laboratory at the same time. The Crew Dragon spacecraft, named Resilience, that brought the Crew 1 astronauts, has been docked since its arrival on November 16th. The Cargo Dragon spacecraft will remain attached to the remained on the space station since its arrival on December 7th. We're looking for a departure today around 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And that's with a 30-minute delay from its original undocking time. We are looking for the spacecraft to splash down in the Atlantic Ocean. And that's going to be around 11 hours and 38 minutes from its undocking time. For those just tuning in, we are standing by for undocking of the Cargo Dragon. We currently are under a 30-minute delay and have retargeted 9 a.m. Central Time for a physical separation of the Dragon vehicle from the space station. We are currently waiting and listening in on a weather update from SpaceX and NASA for a go, no-go for departure today. The latest window for departure will be 9:25 a.m., but we are currently targeting 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time for an undocking and separation of the vehicle from the space station. We will continue to watch the weather and the splashdown sites off the coast of the Atlantic and of Florida. You currently are seeing live views of the Cargo Dragon vehicle attached to the Harmony module on the space-facing side of the port. Again, this is the second cargo vehicle, the second Dragon vehicle that is attached to the space station. This is a first for SpaceX. Crew Dragon launched in November with the Crew 1 astronauts aboard. The Cargo Dragon spacecraft brought up around 5,200 pounds of research and returned cargo splashing. We are looking for the spacecraft to return 5,200 pounds of cargo and research, and it will be a first as well, as we will receive science investigations at the Kennedy Space Center. It'll be a first since the shuttle program. The station and Dragon are currently flying over the South Pacific Ocean, about 264 statute miles above. There are currently 7 crew members aboard the station. From the left is NASA astronaut Kate Rubins, Victor Glover, Shannon Walker, JAXA astronaut Soichi Noguchi, along with, Victor Glover, Shannon Walker, JAXA astronaut Soichi Noguchi, Sergei Ryzhikov, and Sergei Kutsverkov all make up Expedition 64. Again, we are standing by for Dragon's departure or undocking, currently scheduled for 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. This all will be dependent on weather, and we are still evaluating. The last time to call for departure today will be 9:25 a.m.
Station Houston on 2 for Ike.
With you on 2.
Ike, we have gotten happy with the weather off Florida, and with that, in preparation for undock, I'd like you to perform step 1 of 1.602, Dragon departure monitoring.
1.602, step 1, in work.
Undock sequence start time 1455.
Sequence start time 1455, copy.
Good copy.
Houston Station, I'll just stand down on ARED until we're past the no exercise time.
Copy.
Houston, Dragon undocking departure review complete. ISS crew is ready for departure.
Copy. ISS crew ready for departure.
And that was confirmation from the Capcom to the crew that we are currently go for departure today. And we're looking for commands to be sent for departure and undocking to be 8:55 a.m. and physical separation from the vehicle, from the ISS, will be 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We're currently in a brief handover between satellites right now, but we'll be regaining communications here shortly. You are currently seeing a live view of the International Space Station Flight Control Room. If you're just joining us, we are standing by for undocking of the or departure of the SpaceX Dragon cargo vehicle, having arrived on December 7, 2020, with over 6,500 pounds of cargo. Today, you're watching the first autonomous undocking of a cargo Dragon 2 vehicle. Upon Dragon's departure today, currently scheduled for around 9 a.m. Central Time, it will depart with just over 4,500 pounds of critical science and other hardware, scheduled for a safe splashdown off the coast of Florida in the Atlantic. And we're looking for splashdown around 8:08 p.m. Central Time, 9:08 p.m. Eastern Time. Today, the command to release Dragon will originate from the flight controllers here on the ground and in Hawthorne. That command will be sent from That command will be sent from it could be sent from either astronauts aboard the station or the ground team. And while the command won't come from the on-orbit crew today, NASA astronaut Victor Glover will be standing by in the cupola module and monitoring the spacecraft's departure. There are a couple milestones we'll see Dragon meet this morning. First, those departure burns, but then it will cross the keep-out sphere, an invisible line around the station with a 200-meter radius. It will keep heading away from the station and will stand by until it makes its way out of the approach ellipsoid, another invisible line that's 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 2 kilometers around the station. These invisible lines are where we have checkpoints for the vehicle on its way to and from the station. Once the command is set, there will be 2 sets of hooks from the International Space Station and Dragon that will be released, and springs from the Crew Dragon will push the vehicle away from the International Space Station.
Station Houston on 2 for Soichi. Question if you wanted to delay the start of your upcoming PMC.
After separation, the spacecraft will start to slowly drift away from the space station. Dragon has a few small departure burns to get it into the proper position away from the station for its eventual deorbit burn, currently scheduled for 7:18 p.m. Central Time. That will slow Dragon down enough to drop it out of orbit and send it towards its landing zone, splashing down in the Atlantic approximately around 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time.
Station Houston on 2 with Dragon undock pending. We are entering no exercise period. Station Houston on 2 for Dragon departure. We are no go for today due to weather.
As you just heard, we are waving off today due to poor weather off the coast of Daytona. SpaceX and NASA will be evaluating what would be a better time to have undocking for the spacecraft. Please watch nasa.gov for updated timelines for when Cargo Dragon will be departing. That'll wrap up our coverage for the undocking of Dragon today. And please watch nasa.gov for updated timelines of when